In this first section of A Plea for Captain John Brown, Henry David Thoreau starts by giving a brief synopsis of John Brown's life. Brown grew up accustomed to the war environment, and he was as devoted to the country's principles as the founding fathers. These were important events that Thoreau highlighted. Ending the summary of Brown's life was his raid at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. One of Thoreau's main points in the essay is to refute the claims made by many newspapers and politicians that John Brown was foolish and insane. His very detailed depiction of Brown in the first pages of the essay successfully argued that John Brown was actually highly moral and humane. Thoreau believed that Brown's immense courage placed him above almost every other American because he was willing to stand up against wrong in his own nation and readily die to stop it. This work by Henry David Thoreau demonstrates romanticism because of its celebration of individualism, awe of nature, and its value of morals. The importance of the individual is clearly seen in Thoreau's work by his support of Brown's raid. The following was a quote stated by Thoreau: "He was a man who did not wait till he was personally interfered with or thwarted in some harmless business before he gave his life to the cause of the oppressed." Thoreau valued the individualism of Brown and chose to write in a different perspective than all the other writers at the time, demonstrating his own individualism. In this way, Thoreau displayed the characteristics of transcendentalism. He rose above the expectations and beliefs of those around him to find his own view of truth. Thoreau also showed his value of nature in his essay. Such do not know that like the seed is the fruit, and that, in the moral world, when good seed is planted, good fruit is inevitable, and does not depend on our watering and cultivating. This quote is one example of nature imagery that Thoreau used to make important points. Finally, Thoreau's emphasis on morals exemplified romanticism and transcendentalism. In the quote, "But then he stands a chance to save a considerable part of his soul, and such a soul, when you do not," Thoreau explains that committing violence for a good cause is not wrong, but courageous. Thoreau's entire essay is the epitome of transcendentalism in romanticism. The first half of A Plea for Captain John Brown by Henry David Thoreau is the background information used in the second half of the essay. The first half was important because it laid the foundation for Thoreau's arguing points he would bring up in the second part. These sections fit together, hand in hand, through the entire piece. As a whole, Henry Thoreau proved that John Brown was justified in his attack and should be praised for his courage and actions against the immoralities of slavery.